Just your overall thoughts now on the road, taking your effort and what you've seen at the Garden now, and building on it on the road.
That's what you got to do. The games at the Garden are behind us. We had good success with those 2 games. Obviously, played real good hockey, but now we're coming to Tampa and got to play real well in here. So, tough game tomorrow afternoon in a good building, but play the same game. Try and get two big points.
Gallant?
Just the whole, we made such a big deal of the matchup between the 2 goalies, but obviously they're not shooting against each other. So how do you guys view that in terms of, 2 goalies?
Yeah, the matchup, obviously that's arguably the 2 best goalies in the league. So they're great goalies. You play your same game. You don't change things. You have your goalie church. They have their goalie church and our guy. And, you go out and you play the game and you get an opportunity to shoot the puck as much as you can and get traffic in front of them. But it's not about the goalies. It's about winning hockey games for us. And I'm sure it's the same for them.
Larry?
Have you noticed an increased commitment from your forwards getting back on the puck? And if so, has that been a point of emphasis for you as you went?
Yeah, I think there's like you said, definitely an increase in that, back checking, getting back, and, they rush the puck as good as anybody in the league. And, you talk about stuff this time of the year, playoff time of the year, and I talked about it the other night. You're getting in shot lanes, you're blocking more shots, you're doing the little stuff, and the little stuff pays off big for your team, and I think we're doing a good job of that stuff.
Well, can guys, like a guy like Goodrow, say, or maybe even Chris, who's been to the finals, can they explain to players what it's about, or do you need to see just do you need to play in it before you realize what you need to sacrifice?
No, I think it helps coming from those guys. They talk about it all the time. The little things win you games. Definitely this time of the year. But I think every guy in that locker room watches playoff hockey, even though they didn't play in it, and they know the compete level comes up that much higher. Winning those one-on-one battles, back checking hard. All the little things matter now, and that's what we're doing a better job of so far.
Andrew?
Yeah, Gerard, what's been your assessment of the way your defense corps specifically has played, and given all we were talking about what the Lightning can bring in that area, how significant a portion of this series has that been so far?
No, it's been huge, and again, like Larry said, when our forwards come back and help them, it makes a huge difference. That's the biggest thing, because a lot of our guys play a lot of minutes, just the same as the Tampa defense. You rely on your big guys, but the other guys are just as important. They're getting in shot lanes, they're playing their key minutes, and you need a group effort. And that's the biggest thing I notice with our group. It's a group effort every night, and it's Foxy one night, it's True one night, it's Keandre another night. We see what Lindgren brings to our team. Schneider plays a hard minutes, and he plays 10, 12 minutes, but he plays good and solid. And then you got Justin Braun, doing his veteran thing. So it's an important group, and they play hard.
I don't mean to diminish, any pain that Ryan Lindgren is going through, but when you see him hunched over or coming off the ice in pain, are you at a point now where it's like white noise? You're like, oh, he'll be fine next shift.
Yeah, no, you know what? And the more games he plays, the healthier he's getting. So that's the best thing. He feels great. He works hard every night, and he comes to the rink ready to play. So he's a competitor, and you expect it from him. You know what you're going to get from him every night.
The front row here.
Sure. Every time we talk to your players, they seem very, very unselfish and very much about the next guy. And I'm just kind of curious. It seems like you have a very good chemistry on your team. Is chemistry only built when you're winning, or did you see this develop as the year went on, and how much does that manifest?
I think from day one there's chemistry coming to our team. The guys were disappointed the last few years, not being in the playoffs, not making the playoffs, not making a good run. And from day one, a lot of those veteran guys stepped up and helped our group. And, we brought the kids along. There's a lot of kids in our team, but they all took big steps for us, and that's what we needed. And, our veteran guys are very good, talented hockey players, but they brought everybody together, and that's what's important.
How much does that help you at this time of year as you get?
It helps me? Yeah, it helps me a lot. That's what, coaches can't be in there all the time telling them what to do and doing this and that. When you got veteran leadership doing that, that's when you know you got a good hockey team, good group.
Go over here, Art.
Talking about guys forwards stepping up, it seems like Frank Vetrano is someone, you kind of sub him out for defense occasionally late in games, or he comes off for an extra center, but he seems to be a guy who's raised
And I shouldn't be, because he's played really well. Honestly, I looked at that last night, and I said, you know what, Frankie's competing and playing well and working hard, so. It's just sometimes you get in those things and you're watching the game tight and, you know, you're trying to pick your top guys to be out there in those areas. And, but Frankie's been excellent. I'm real happy with his performance. And at first when we got him, people talked about, you know, lack of defensive ability a little bit, but I don't see that with him. He competes hard and gets in the shot lane as good as anybody, and he's doing a real good job.
Go to Dan next.
I thought it was interesting when you talked about Filipino, you mentioned, you know, be a Zibanejad type player, and it wasn't that long ago that people were probably telling Zibanejad to be somebody else too, because he wasn't at that level yet. When you watched Zibanejad from afar, what was your impression of him? Now that you've coached him a lot, I mean, how much has your impression changed?
Yeah, I mean, actually, my impressions a few years ago was he was a streaky player. He was one of the best players in the National Hockey League when he was hot, and then some games you just didn't see him consistency enough. I had never seen one bit of that this year. Like, I mean, he's been consistently probably our best two-way player all season long. Defensively, kills penalties, big face-offs. He does it all for us. And for 99% of the season, that's what I've seen. He's been outstanding, and he's come a long way. And again, he's one of those players that want to go to the next level, and he's done that this year for us and himself.
Go to Ethan next.
When you're on a run like this, and the kind of belief that you guys seem to have in yourselves, how much of that is something that's been there from the beginning of the season versus building as you go, you know, especially during the play?
Yeah, I think we built it as we went. I mean, there was games, again, I always come back to this because I read it in somebody's notes one day. I don't know who put it out, one of you guys did, but we were first or second in the league in comeback victories, you know, and that's huge for a team. You get your confidence, you build your team confidence from that, and guys never want to quit, so no quit is a perfect scenario for us. We just keep working and find a way, and we did it enough times this year that we're going to build confidence with our group. I think that's what happened.
Has there been a game during this run that you can pinpoint as when that kind of confidence really came into being?
I can't think of one. I really don't. No. Sure, there's one, but I can't think of it.
Go ahead, Vince.
You told us earlier in the playoffs that from one game to another, it's up and down. There's not really momentum that carries.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 wins in a row for you guys, they've been pretty impressive, all of them. Do you feel like the team does have some momentum right now?
We're playing well. We're playing our best hockey with the last 4 games. I would agree with that. But does it turn over tomorrow? I'm not a believer in that. We got to continue to play our game. We got to play well. We got to work hard. We got to do the same things that make us play well. And again, our forecheck's a big part of our group. Our compete level is a big part of our group. And when we do that, we have a chance to win every game. And so I don't think, you know, just because we won the last 4, we got momentum going into tomorrow. I don't believe that.
Would winning one on the road, would that really elevate the confidence of the group right
We
now?
won our last one on the road, didn't we?
Next to Vince.
Getting back to Lindgren for a minute, off of Andrew's question, I know it's kind of easy to say you just kind of expect that of him because that's what he keeps coming back. Has there been a moment, you know, when he's come off the ice, where because when we're watching, it looks like he might be done for the night or maybe for the rest of the week. So has there been one moment we've been concerned?
I haven't been concerned once, and to be totally honest with you, when he comes off the ice, you guys see him more than I do because I'm coaching the game and I'm more worried about the forwards. So maybe Gord Murphy might think that a couple of times, but I don't hear nothing until between periods when the trainer comes and says he might be nicked up or he might need stitches or something like that. So I don't see it, and he's been really good the last couple of weeks. There's been not many issues with him, so he's coming along.
As a follow-up, I'm sorry, what does it take inside for somebody to keep coming back from those kinds of?
No, it's NHL. He's a professional. He wants to win, you know. I mean, most guys would do the same thing he's doing, but he's a character. He's a tough guy, and that's his background. So he's battled through it, and like I said, he's pretty close to healthy now. So he's battled through a tough injury, and he shows up every night and does his job.
Colin?
So we know why you got Barclay Goodrow, right? For all those 2-time champion and grit and leadership and all that kind of stuff. And we know he gave that to you during the regular season, but how much more of a resource is he now when you're playing his old team? I mean, like...
Yeah, I mean, little things. I mean, honestly, do we pick his brain? A little bit, but there's not a whole lot. I mean, we're coaches. We watch videotapes of their team. I mean, I coached with John Cooper a little bit in the World Championship, so they know there's no surprises anymore. I mean, you do your work, every coaching staff does their work, so there's no surprise on face-off plays or, you know. So we don't worry about that thing, but again, Barkley played with a lot of those guys, and he said, you know, you can get under this guy's skin a little bit doing this, you know, little things like that, but not key things.
And what do you, I mean, like, what do you think of what he's given you since he come back? I mean, you know,
He's
obviously.
given it his all. I mean, he's been out for 3.5 weeks. We missed him dearly, and he's one of those character guys that does all the right things. You talk about Lindgren, you talk about Goodrow. Same thing, same type of guys.